Welcome to the cat's world. Cats have been a part of art for centuries, appearing in paintings, sculptures, and illustrations. This video showcases 15 of the most fascinating cats in art history, from central figures to hidden details that prove one thing: cats have always ruled the world. What to expect? 15 incredible works of art featuring cats. A mix of famous and lesser-known masterpieces, perfect for cat lovers and art enthusiasts alike. Get ready for a perfectly artistic journey. Louis Wain, The Bachelor's Party. Wain was one of the most popular English illustrators. Born in 1860, he became famous for his anthropomorphic portrayals of cats. As the English writer H.G. Wells remarked, he invented a cat style, a cat society, a whole cat world. The thing is that Wain suffered from a mental illness and probably had schizophrenia, which might have caused his obsession with cats. He became known as a leading authority on all things cats and was elected president of the National Cat Club. Also, he judged cat competitions and was involved in several animal charities. He worked for nearly 30 years, sometimes producing as many as several hundred drawings a year, which amuse cat and art lovers to this day. Franz Marc, the White Cat. Franz Marc is known for his images of brilliantly colored animals, horses, dogs, and of course cats. In 1911 to 1912, Marc displayed his works in Munich. His paintings of cats illustrate the animals in their natural state of sleeping or grooming. Some of his famous cat paintings show cats on a pillow, two cats blue and yellow, cats in a basket, and cats on a red cloth. For him, animals were the ideal symbol of purity, truth, and beauty. Also, he believed in the symbolism of colors. Blue meant spirituality and masculinity, yellow feminine happiness, and red represented violence. Hiroshige 2, a white cat playing with a string. This is a rather unusual fan print design by Hiroshige 2, who often closely followed the style and designs of his immensely successful mentor, who was, of course, also called Hiroshige. This print reflects Hiroshige 2's own unique approach. It shows the artist's close observation of a house cat, depicted in a bold and minimal manner. This cute and chubby, white bobtail cat is biting a blue string. With hind legs braced against the ground, he appears ready to pounce. If you are a cat owner, you know this cat's face very well. Suzanne Valadon, Ramonul. Suzanne Valadon was a French painter and model of artists. In 1894, she became the first woman painter admitted to the Société Nationale des Beaux-Arts. Valadon painted still lives, portraits, flowers, and landscapes that are noted for their strong composition and vibrant colors. She was, however, best known for her candid female nudes that depict women's bodies from a woman's perspective. She was also a cat lover and often painted her cats, especially her favorite, the chubby Ramonul. Marc Chagall, La Poète. Known as a pioneer of modernism and a major Jewish artist, Marc Chagall experienced modernism's golden age in Paris, where he synthesized the art forms of Cubism, symbolism, Fauvism, and Surrealism. Throughout his long life, he used typical motifs and subjects in most of his work: village scenes, peasant life, and intimate views of the small world of the Jewish village, all presented in a dreamy, unreal manner. Cats often helped emphasize the fantastic character of his paintings and played a major part in many of them. They are usually the companions of the figures he painted: poets, musicians, or women like we see in the painting above. Pablo Picasso, Cat Catching a Bird. Picasso's cat catching a bird was created in a couple of versions in 1939, the year of the outbreak of the war. As Picasso himself recalled, The subject obsessed me, I don't know why. The bird struggles desperately to free itself from its tormentor's hold. The neutrality of the background does nothing to relieve the horror of the scene. It is an image of everyday life blown up to apocalyptic proportions. The cat is postponing the killing of the bird for as long as possible. The longer he does it, the longer he is in absolute power. Minjin, the black cat. Picasso's cat was a cruel one. Time for a smiling one. Min Jun was a Chinese painter and seal carver born in Nanchang, Jiangxi, who spent most of his life in the Chinese city of Hubei. He was noted for painting human figures and occasionally doing finger painting. He was orphaned at an early age and is sometimes associated with the 8 eccentrics of Yangzhou, which is a name for a group of 8 Chinese painters active in the 18th century who were known in the Qing dynasty for rejecting orthodox ideas about painting in favor of a style they deemed expressive and individualist. It was hard to find any information about this gorgeous chunky cat, but maybe no more comments are needed here. He has just eaten all the cat food in the world and is happy now. Henriette Ronenip, the cat at play. Henriette Ronenip was born in Amsterdam into a family of painters. She is well known for her paintings of domestic pets, primarily cats. Pet paintings were popular with the wealthy bourgeois in the Victorian era, and her many paintings of cats getting into mischief in domestic scenes proved to be favorites, mostly sentimental portrayals. Her paintings rarely offer any metaphorical meanings and are focused only on the cats themselves. She studied her cat subjects avidly and with sincerity. She even went so far as to construct a specially built glass-fronted studio in which her cats could freely scamper about sleep and get into the types of trouble that only cats can get themselves into. Bart van der Lek, the cat. Bart van der Lek is primarily known as the co-founder of the magazine Distill. In 1916, like Piet Mondrian, he opted for radical abstraction in his work and used the primary colors of red, yellow, and blue. That choice was preceded by a quest for a new visual idiom. The classical Egyptian art in the Louvre impressed him during a visit to Paris. Inspired by this, he developed a style with highly simplified forms and sober colors. Consequently, in the cat, van der Lek depicted the animal both from the side and in profile and used only black, white, red, and orange. Pierre-Auguste Renoir, Julie Manet, also known as Child with Cat. Berthe Morisot and her husband Eugene Manet, brother of the painter, had known Pierre-Auguste Renoir for many years. The Manets' admiration for the painter's talent convinced them, in 1887, to commission a portrait of their daughter Julie. The cat is here only the addition, but such a sweet one. Not to mention that it looks much happier than little Julie. Maybe she didn't like Renoir's paintings, just like some American art aficionados over 100 years later. Marguerite Gérard, the cat's lunch. Marguerite Gérard was famous for producing oil paintings and etchings under her brother-in-law, the great Jean-Honoré Fragonard. Perhaps he convinced her to add cats to her compositions, as he was also famous for doing that. As a genre artist, Gérard focused on portraying scenes of intimate domestic life. However, unlike other female painters who liked to refer to classical antiquity, Marguerite Gérard often used costumes and settings from a few centuries earlier. Many of her paintings illustrate the experiences of motherhood and childhood within the household, and several emphasize the importance of music and female companionship. Cat companionship is equally important, as we can see in this painting. Pierre Bonnard, the white cat. Here, Pierre Bonnard used distortion to create a humorous image of this cat arching its back. The painter spent a long time deciding on the shape and the position of the paws, as can be seen in the preparatory drawings. Japanese inspiration can be found in the bold, asymmetric composition, as well as in the choice of subject, one that was very popular in the prints that Bonnard was so fond of. Both Hokusai and Kuniyashi in particular, whose work you can also spot in this article, had painted cats. Throughout his work, Bonnard produced innumerable paintings that featured cats, sometimes as a simple detail, visible to a greater or lesser degree, sometimes, like the white cat, as the central subject. Utagawa Kuniyoshi, cats suggested as the 53 stations of the Takedo. 55 cats appear in this triptych print by the Japanese illustrator Utagawa Kuniyoshi. One of them crawls out of a basket, a few catch rats, others eat fish. Kuniyoshi loved cats. When he became a teacher, his students noted that his studio was overrun by them. His fondness for felines crept into his work, and they appear in many of his finest prints. Sometimes they appear as characters from well-known stories. Other times they are beautifully expressive studies. Often Kuniyoshi would depict cats in a fully anthropomorphic form, as the later Louis Wain. Cat suggested as the 53 Stations of the Takedo is a fun spoof on Hiroshige's The 53 Stations of the Takedo, which was the best-selling collection in the history of ukiyo-e, the Takedo or Eastern Sea Road, had 53 different post stations along its route, and these provided stables, food, and lodgings for travelers. Kuniyoshi decided to show these stations through cat puns. For example, the 41st station of the Takedo is called Miya. This name sounds somewhat like the Japanese word oya, which means parent. For this reason, the station is depicted as two kittens with their mother. Théophile Steinlen, the Chat Noir. Le Chat Noir was a 19th century entertainment establishment in the Bohemian Montmartre district of Paris. It opened on November 18, 1881 at 84 Boulevard de Roquecourt by the impresario Rodolphe Salas and closed in 1897, not long after Salas' death. It is believed to be the first modern cabaret, a nightclub where the patrons sat at tables and drank alcoholic beverages while being entertained by a variety show on stage. This iconic Théophile Steinlen poster advertises a nightclub that in its heyday was partly an artist salon and partly a rowdy music hall. From 1882 to 1895, the cabaret published a weekly magazine of the same name featuring literary writings, news from the cabaret and Montmartre, poetry, and political satire. Today, reproductions of this cat can be bought everywhere in Paris. Jeff Koons, cat on a clothesline. Whether or not you like Jeff Koons, you can't pass in front of his art indifferently. You wouldn't see it in this photo, but his cat on a clothesline is gigantic. It measures 312.4 by 279.4 by 127 centimeters. For Koons, this piece of art is like a contemporary crucifixion, but it's also this cute little cat that's just in a sock. You can also think of it as a womb-like situation, feeling that sense of protection. Thank you for watching. We hope you found it interesting. See you soon. This video is based on an article by Zuzanna Stańska in the DailyArt magazine. Many thanks.